Hello everyone, and welcome to the 14th episode of The Wonder of Star Wars: The Old Republic, where I am playing on a free-to-play account, but we cheated a little for the species. This is my character Javiik, a Sith Inquisitor, and we are doing every single quest in the game and trying to focus on the lore and the story of the game. So we had just recently finished a really good Sith Inquisitor quest. We've got, I believe, Lord Zash waiting on the line, and we've got a bunch of quests to turn in. I wanted to show you guys some stuff before we moved on into the juicy quest stuff. So, number one is an observant viewer. Notice, I do actually have a mount. I have my mount skill, but I haven't run into anywhere where you can actually buy a mount yet. I believe there may be one on Dromund Kaas. I haven't explored that area quite enough yet. And I know you can get one on the fleet, which is where I was planning on picking one up. And this is something that a viewer sent me when I first started playing, and I didn't quite realized that you could send mail back. I didn't want to take it out, and I couldn't send mail in the first place, so I'm just kind of stuck with it. But please don't send me gifts. I want to try and play as a free-to-play player would, which is for the most part without any friends yet. Usually start meeting people once you start grouping up after like level 25, when you can actually chat and chat. Once you get enough higher level that you can start joining flashpoints more easily. I wouldn't be getting luxurious gifts, that's for sure. So, but thank you very much. So I'm just gonna hold on to this and maybe use it for like story reasons when we get to boss or something cool like that. Number two is I got a different headgear. And this is one of the neat things about Star Wars: The Old Republic, good or bad, I guess you could say, is that certain headpieces will hide your hood. So on Javiik, I actually really enjoy the hood, and having a hood was kind of something I had in mind when I was designing him, just a pair of yellow eyes glowing from the darkness with his dark fur. But this hood, or this headpiece, has better stats, but it hides my hood. This one especially I think looks good on a human character. It kind of doesn't stand out enough on my Cathar, but it looks really cool on like a paler skinned human. It just looks very abrasive. That person's wearing the absolute in combat gear so much that they'd have something covering their chin and their more vulnerable sides of their neck. But Javiik just doesn't look as good. So that's the cool thing about the fact that we're overpowered. We can just go back and wear a less powerful piece of gear that we like, our sweet headband. And if we run into any trouble in combat, we can always just equip that later. I could actually possibly even use the outfit designer. This is something I wasn't sure I had available as a free-to-play player, but yes, I do. If I wanted to save this circlet as part of my outfit designer, I could. I think I'll just investigate that later when I actually have more gear to play with. So now that we've looked at our inventory, we will actually dive right into the quest.
Apprentice, do you have the artifact yet?
I have the artifact in hand.
Of course. Brilliant. Magnificent. Hurry back to Scotia's, my chambers. I cannot wait to see this artifact, and I have a surprise for you.
What kind of surprise?
Trust me, you'll love it. Now hurry back with the artifact. I can't wait.
I'm really digging Lord Zash's outfit. I believe she kind of upgraded it when she took over Scotia's chambers. Okay, so we have kind of quests to turn in all in one area. So you know what? We're going to be lazy and we're just going to quick travel. Since we can use our quick travel apparently exactly every 26 minutes. So we might as well take advantage of it, right? On my main account, my non-free-to-play account, I paid for all the unlocks, and I can literally quick travel an unlimited number of times. It's wonderful. I love it, especially if I'm like looking around for a spot to do a screenshot. It's nice when you're questing on like Makeb, you can just pop to all the different little islands without too much trouble. It's really nice. Let's turn this quest in.
You're back. I hope you sealed the chambers of the ancients, SWTOR's chamber especially. I'm terrified to think what would happen if SWTOR and his crazed ideas were to re-emerge.
It was a hollow, but the message is destroyed.
SWTOR's secrets have been contained along with the other ancients. You have done well.
That was for that really cool quest from last time, where he was kind of spreading the Jedi ideologies. Ooh, we got an implant. and it's worse than what we have, so it'll be into the credit farm.
Ah, the only thing more powerful than the Dark Temple. Any luck getting that data?
Here's your data, as promised.
Hey, you actually came through. Can't say I was expecting that. Can't say it's not a relief. Now we can finally stop sending expeditions in there, wasting all those slaves who should be building monuments to the Empire.
This was that quest where the guy was like pretending to be a Sith Lord and didn't want to lose his power. I don't think we need to feed his craziness.
Slaves shouldn't be collecting data anyway.
My superiors may feel differently, but I tend to agree with you on that point. Anyway, I believe that concludes our business here. Goodbye then, and thanks for the data. Your service to the Empire will not be forgotten.
I guess that guy's just gonna stick around there with his little tablet pieces. Oh, do we have both relics? Oh, we do. Let's see. I can't tell if this one is quite better or not. Oh, we picked up an implant. It's not as good as the one we have, but we don't actually have a second one. So, you can have 2 implants, 2 relics, an earpiece, and then all the pieces that actually go on your body. Let's see. Nope, these are both worse. I must have been picking up some decent stuff along the way there then. Sweet vendor. We haven't seen you in so long.
Only as intended.
Oh, I didn't need to repair my gear. I don't know if that was a wise choice. Here you go. I decided I'm just not going to worry too much about gifts. If you have the inventory space for them, gifts are something that I would suggest holding on to. As you pick them up, you'll pick them up. Hey, it's a heroic. That we already did. Which one is this one? Oh, it's just Dark Temple stuff. Okay, I'll head back to Lord Sash. Companion gifts are something that you pick up. Sometimes you just pick them up off the ground. Often they're quest rewards. You get them quite often when you're doing heroics as a high-level character, and they're meant to give to your companions to raise their affection for you, and most importantly, to raise their influence. If you take a look in the triangle in the menu and go to companions and contacts, this is where, once you start getting more companions, you can choose from them, summon them, and it'll also have an influence rating. Right now, Camval is at an 8, and in the old version of the game, before this companions and contacts window changed, they imported all the characters, so the highest ranking then was about a 10. And so if you had like fully maxed out Eric Jorgen or Kira Carson or something like that, they would come into the new system as a 10. And from here, it can go way up. Don't quote me on this one, but I think you can go all the way up to level 50, I believe. And I think my highest one is like level 40. So you can give them gifts. And of course, we've been gaining affection as we do things that Camval likes in the storylines while he's with us. Unfortunately, Camval likes eating people and killing people, and he doesn't like it when you diss Tulak Horde. Oh my gosh, train, don't listen. Speaking of trains, the Umbara Stronghold and the Umbara Flashpoint are coming out. They will literally be out by the next time that I play. In the next episode that comes out, there will be that 5.4 Umbara update, and I'm quite excited to hear about that. I haven't actually finished the Iocast storyline. I really need to get on that. Maybe I'll do it this weekend, but I've been avoiding it because I don't like one of the choices you have to make. If you played the Iocast storyline, I'm sure you can figure out exactly what that is. Alright, let's talk to... See, okay, no, we're gonna look at her armor and how amazing and Sithy it looks. Come here, Zash. Hey, Zash, give me your clothes.
Fantastic, apprentice. You're just in time for my surprise. Since you left for the Dark Temple, I've been reading and reading and reading. Scotia's chambers are a treasure trove of research. Now, who would have thought a man like that had such a curious intellect? It almost makes me regret that we had to kill him. But let me see this wonderful artifact you found.
You mentioned you had something for me.
Indeed I did, and I'll get to it in a moment. But tell me, how did you manage to pacify the apparition?
You can tell her we were related. Not sure, but he hates you. had to do a zany puzzle. Zany puzzles are what we've done in the past. I think we've kind of established that Javiik does seem to like, Darth Zash now, says the dialogue wheel. She got an upgrade there, didn't she? Darth Zash says, right. Javiik seems to like Zash. So let's tell her the truth.
Apparently he was my ancestor.
Remarkable. A slave's lost ancestor turns up in the Dark Temple, and I sense your incredible destiny doesn't stop there. I've been studying Tulak Hord's artifacts closely for some time, and one glance at this one you've brought back confirms everything I've suspected. These artifacts will change everything, Apprentice. You especially. They will make you more powerful than you could imagine. I have foreseen it.
What do the artifacts do exactly?
This artifact is one of 5 that together describe a peculiar ritual used by the great Tulak Hord when he conquered the Dromund system. Until I have all the artifacts, I cannot understand the full nature of the ritual, but I have foreseen that you alone will wield the ritual's power. The artifacts are scattered across the galaxy, some hidden by Tulak Hord himself and some wrenched from his hands by betrayers. Documents and Scotia's effects point to Balmora and Nar Shaddaa, but I will need to do more research to locate the other 2.
What do I do to get there?
Ah, yes. That brings me to my surprise. If you're going to find these artifacts, you'll need a ship, and so I have ordered you one. All you need to do is pick it up.
For me? You are too kind.
Yes, you've earned it. You'll find your ship at the spaceport. Then the galaxy is yours to explore. Don't forget to contact me when you reach each planet for more information on the artifacts' locations. Good luck and good hunting.
She'll never command the power of Tulak Hord. Remember, little Sith, I am always hungry. Man, Campbell, see where the sun don't shine. Wow, okay, so much going on. Okay, first I wanted to mention, it's very cool that we told Lord Zash that we are related. I believe in my original Sith Inquisitor playthrough, I told her a different answer. I didn't clue her in on the reason we were able to talk to that spirit so easily. And this is a very important choice that I get to make for my roleplay story. If you don't know about it yet, I run a secondary, smaller series called WONDERTALK on top of the Wonder of SWTOR playthrough, and that's where I just talk purely about what happened in the playthrough and then what is happening in Javik's backstory in terms of roleplay. And there's this very big choice that I have to make, that is Javiik actually blood related to Calig? Because it's pretty unlikely, because they're different species. Javik's got his own past and history already. But it would be very cool to be related, of course. So you guys have actually chimed in with so many really cool answers, and it's pretty split. I was surprised. This one is going to be a really difficult one for me to make. So if you want to hear whether Javiik is truly related to Lord Calig, you will have to watch the WONDERTALK that comes out the day after this is posted. That'll be WONDERTALK 14. Alright, and we just got our freaking ship! This is Javik's freedom! We can go find his family! But what's crazy is our next planet is going to be, as she just said, Balmora! So we're gonna go to Balmora together, and that is supposedly where Javik's mother was sent. And maybe we'll find her, maybe we won't, maybe we'll find some more clues, but we'll be making that up as we go. So here is Javik's ship. The Fury-class Imperial Interceptor for the Warrior/Inquisitor. Featuring an advanced hyperdrive and state-of-the-art sublight engines, the Fury is the most versatile starship in the Imperial fleet, and the end result of centuries of evolving design. The modern Fury was originally conceived for use in high-priority military missions, but is now used almost exclusively by Sith and outfitted accordingly. The Fury's angular design combines the maneuverability of a fighter with impressive armament rivaling some larger military vessels. The Fury also features a set of strike foils that remain down for travel but can be expanded in short-range combat to maximize the ship's agility and range of firepower. The interior aesthetic is sleek and functional, arranged in the traditions of the Sith Academy on Korriban. Military-grade computers and communications equipment are integrated into the ship's hardware, and hidden security devices make sabotage extremely difficult and dangerous. So she didn't just give Javiik some dinky little smuggler ship. This is not a Han Solo kind of ship that looks bad on the outside, but she works pretty damn good. This is a beautiful, previously military-grade ship. And it is ours, all ours, and she gave it to us. She, as far as I understand, she's not just kind of lending it to us. This is ours. And the value of things in the Star Wars The Old Republic universe is very fun. I remember reading somewhere way back when that the value of the Ebon Hawk spaceship, a kind of smuggler ship, is 40,000 credits. As you can see, even on our free-to-play account, and even after I did a stupid mistake where I accidentally wasted 10,000 credits, that had nothing to do with this series, I was just messing around. We have 30,000 credits. We should probably expand our inventory. Ah, well, that's sad. Okay, so the next inventory lock would have costed 20,000 credits, but it says only subscribers can use credits for this purchase and gives me the option of buying it with cartel coins. So, because I'm playing free-to-play and trying to remain free-to-play, I'm gonna just not worry too much about my inventory. I haven't had a huge issue so far, and I also know that I'll be getting a Legacy Bank probably. I think I'll grab it next time I go to the fleet. And so I've actually heard quite a few people don't ever bother unlocking their banks because they just didn't feel the need to. So I'm going to see if that's a possibility or if that's crazy annoying. And this is all part of the free-to-play experience, free-to-play test, I guess you could say. Why did the taxi send me here? That's very silly. It sent me to a taxi point right outside Kaas City when I could have taken a taxi straight to the spaceport. Come on.
Ready for departure.
Go the right way.
Enjoy your stay.
So what has been going on in the Star Wars universe? Well, the devs have actually been fairly quiet this week, because the last couple of weeks they'd actually released a whole bunch of information about the upcoming update. And basically, from what I am assuming, they're just getting ready to launch this new 5.4 Umbara update. Like I said, new Stronghold, new Flashpoint. For those of you who have played the level 60 story, Senya will now be able to have custom armor, like you can choose what she's wearing. We're gonna have the new hair from the Koth, Senya, and Lana companions that you can wear on your character. It'll cost cartel coins, but it'll be available. And the class changes are really the only thing that they mention this week in terms of updates, and that is Carnage Marauder, Combat Sentinel, Concealment Operative, Scrapper Scoundrel, and there was a couple other ones earlier in the week, but those ones just happened today. Are we at the starship now? Oh, I know what cutscene this is, and when classes get their ships, that's probably one of my favorite cutscenes in the game. And there's always some epic music playing in the background. Makes me very happy inside. So we're gonna go grab our ship, and then we are going to actually not leave Dromund Kaas, because we like exploring, we like finding everything in the game. We're not just skipping over the side quests. We are gonna go get all the datacrons. We're gonna go get all the codexes. I don't think we're gonna go for the bestiaries or anything like that. We're just trying to get the lore objects and the datacrons. Who knows? Maybe I'll do a super run later and go back and get all the beasts and get the Beast Master title. Because if you're running free to play, after you finish the main story, apart from making new characters, there's not a ton to do. But oh, ship. That is a nice ship. That is one good looking ship. I've never played a lot with the Fury. I only have one other class really that uses it. I guess I have two, but I don't play either of my main accounts Imperial characters very much. Pretty much they exist either to have seen the story or they existed so I could raid with friends. That's literally about it. So me and Javiik will get some quality time with this ship. Okay, so let's take a look at those achievements. And like I was saying, there's not a lot to do. Once you hit 50, finish all the stories, finish all the flashpoints, finish the extra little areas that are available. But when I was preferred for quite a while, I wasn't happy at the time with the way the game was going. That opinion has very much changed since. But I decided to stop subscribing. I think that's pretty fair if you don't like... If you're not super having as much fun as you were, and you're not playing as much, and you have less interest, and there's nothing in the future saying that things are going to change, I think that's a fair reason to unsubscribe. I will never say pay blindly for anything, especially not a video game, but I'm very happy with it now. They've been adding so much group content and regular updates all across the board. Very cool. But one of the things you can do when you're free to play or preferred, I especially suggest working on them when you're preferred. Free to play, you're still kind of limited, is achievements. They're so fun. There's so many to like track down, and there's so many little hidden ones and crazy interesting ones. One day I will do a hidden achievements, best achievements video, which just I haven't even literally done them all myself. So let's head to location. Elemento. Hey, are they not in alphabetical order? No, they're not. That's some baloney. We have 26 of Dromund Kaas done. So let's see. Exploration. We have literally found 0 datacrons. I'm sure you guys think that's hilarious that we didn't even manage to find one. How many codexes did we find? Oh, we found... Oh, we didn't finish all the maps somehow. We found 1 out of 4 lore objects. And that was Sith Spawn. If you guys remember, that quest was pretty darn cool. And we actually got 2 out of 5 of the beast ones, and that was when we were randomly killing things. So let's go get our first datacron that I'm kind of surprised I missed. I'm not entirely sure where it is. I know there's one hidden in the main Sith area in the big building. So we're gonna go, I know you guys can't see it on screen, we're gonna go to one of my favorite sites. It is an old site. It has not been updated for about definitely over a year, probably closer to 2 years. It's called SWTOR-spy.com. But although it hasn't been updated for a long time, it has the best datacron guides out there because they actually have screenshots for each one, and that's what I love. And since the datacrons don't change ever, pretty much, sometimes new ones get added, but it's only to newer planets, you can just go and find them all on that site, which is what I'm going to do. What I usually like to do is first I'll see if I can just find them along the way like we did here, and apparently failed miserably by finding 0. I wonder if you guys were just watching me as I played and going, oh my god, Swtorista, you missed one by like 5 inches! I try and listen for like the sparkly sound, but maybe I just didn't run across it. And then I will go look them up on guides, but I don't like guides that tell you exactly where to go without letting you, giving you a chance to kind of figure things out for yourself. What I like are the ones that tell you what general area they're located in, and SWTOR Spy does a pretty good job of that. All you do is the screenshots are all in thumbnails, so you can just look at the first thumbnail and we'll usually show you a general area of where to start, and then you can wiggle around and explore from there. So one of the things I wanted to talk about were class balances. So I really enjoy, I guess, the numbers side of things. I don't like doing the math of things, but I work as a web designer. That's my job, and I do quite a bit of coding here and there, and generally when I'm coding things, I want them to work, and I want them to work well. Oh, I'm thinking of the one on Korriban. There is not even one in here. I'm a goose. Let me actually go to the site. This is why we can't rely on memory. Let's see. Okay, the guide says, Oh, there's apparently one in the hangar where we just were. That's kind of cool. I'm guessing since you can't actually really explore too much in here, there's a bunch of red doors you can't go in. Yeah! Oh, I'm so lost. And when I'm coding things, I'm lucky. I don't have to code for a player base of a bajillion players or however many people are actually playing the game. Instead, I'm usually coding for a much smaller base, and I'm usually not coding for anyone who has to pay for it, who's a paying customer. So I have those luxuries of, if I screw up, nothing's too horrible. Now, when it comes to making the classes in Star Wars: The Old Republic, disregarding like the way a class feels, like how cool its animations look, how awesome
Ready for departure.
the different abilities
Enjoy your
are,
stay.
they have to code the amount of damage that each class does. So as an average, how many damage points per second or per minute can a character do, or a type of class or an advanced spec? And their goal for the game has always been to have all 8 classes be roughly the same. Like, they don't want anyone to be picking a flavor of the month class. They don't want one class to dominate over others. They do want the classes to have distinct differences, so they don't want the smuggler scoundrel to play the same as the Sith warrior in any way, and more than just the animations. They don't want to just have the same moves, but just look a little different on each class. They truly wanted the classes to be different from each other, at least within the faction. So the smuggler, the trooper, the Jedi Consular, and the Jedi Knight are all very different to each other. Now, within those different types of classes, they also have 2 different other types of distinctions. There is the types of characters that mainly do AoE damage, so damage to many different enemies around them, and characters that do damage specifically to a single enemy, so like a boss, a large boss, an enemy boss. On top of that, there's also types of characters that do damage immediately, which is called burst. For example, I slash you with my lightsaber and it does a ton of damage. Or characters that do damage over time, so I maybe nick you with a poison knife, and maybe it even does more damage over time than the lightsaber would, and you die and you're sad. So they had to balance those different types of ideas. There's also the idea of melee and range. Somebody who has a lightsaber has to stand up close to the boss, but is maybe getting swiped by the boss's claws and has a harder time getting away from it. Okay, so supposedly there's a datacron in here. You guys hear anything is sparkling? Let's take another look at that guide. I wish I could show you what I'm doing on the other screen, sorry. I'm looking through screenshots. Ah, I have to take one of the elevators. One of the elevators that doesn't go to my class quest. What do we got? Which one is it? Here we go. Docking Bay 017 elevator. It's up in the north. So when you're playing a melee character in a very difficult fight, and these are not the fights that you or me will find in our class stories. These are usually operations or the most difficult of flashpoints, and maybe Eternal Championship 2. These are all things you're going to do at endgame if you're looking for a challenge specifically. If you're playing on a ranged character, for example, a character who has a gun and shoots from far away, or a Jedi Consular or Sith Inquisitor who can just shoot lightning from far away, which Javiik currently is. Javiik is awesome! Okay, I think we're in the right area now to do some datacron exploring. Ooh, I bet you we have to go up there. If you're on a ranged character, like I said, you have a lot more room to maneuver. For the tank classes, it's pretty easy. All the tank classes are mostly upfront and personal, but the DPS classes, the damage makers, are split up between ones that are ranged and melee. And because melee have that disadvantage of having to be so close to the boss that they sometimes have to deal with all the mechanics of the boss that are annoying. Where are you, Datacron? I'm not even entirely sure if it's in here. Let me take that screenshot again. Yep. I'm in the right room. Is it down here? I need to be able to zoom out way more. wish I could hear it. Can't you hear your little datacron? Ah!
In Twyfl Atraus.
I think the guide was saying it was somewhere over here. I need to hear those sweet, sweet sparkles, though. Let's check it one more time. Apparently on some boxes? On these over here, so that would be really cool. This is very silly, I'm sorry. Okay, did we go to the right bay? No, we went to the wrong bay. That is the issue. There's no datacron hidden in this room. Oh, this is where we came in, the transport shuttle. Anyways, because they have that disadvantage of being melee in the first place, and they often, in the harder fights, have to either be paralyzed by the boss, the penalty of being too close, like it'll stomp on the floor and knock them out, or you have different circles often pop up near the boss, and when you're near the boss, you have less room to move out of the way. Like you have that conal area behind you to step out of the way into your sides, but a ranged player can step all the way around themselves 360. They can move, and if you have circles that are plopping down on your character, like bad stuff like nasty acid or fire or whatever, if you have more than one melee character, you guys often overlap a lot more than a ranged player would. Is there no elevator on the map for this? Oh, that's cool. Okay, so the reason I didn't find this hangar is because normally elevators on the game are marked by a very clear elevator symbol. There's an elevator here. There's no elevator symbol. This is like a secret one. Oh, that's very cool. You would only find this if you were really... Obviously, if you're using a guide that's cheating, Swtorista. But you would only find this if you actually really went looking for it. And they didn't like skimp on decorating this either. This is like a full hangar too. With a license and registration, please, over here. Haha! I see you, datacron. I'm going to get you. So when they're trying to balance the classes, they have all those things to keep in mind on top of the individual class abilities, on top of all the silly fun little tricks that people have learned that they never intended to be used that way. Ooh, I think right here. Can we go there? Yes. Haha. This is a very cool one. I like that it's in a hidden hangar to start with, and you have to do some seriously interesting... Aw, for real? I never claimed I was good at jumping. I'm not good at this game, I just play it a lot. So they have to keep in mind that they don't actually want all the classes to do exactly equal damage. They need to do things like the damage over time people should be doing slightly more damage because they get less of a burst. They have to keep in mind that melee players should do a little more damage because they have the penalty of being up close. And they have to keep in mind all the weird little tricks people have found. So not only can they not make the classes entirely equal, they don't 100% want to. They do want to make the different types of classes equal. So if you have a melee advanced class or combat proficiency, okay, let's see if we can make this jump now. Come on, Javiik, I believe in you. Ah! This is the problem with jumping datacrons. One more time! Someone needs to give me a force push right up there. I wonder if I can get down there another way. So what they are trying to do is make the similar combat styles have very similar amount of damage, like very little difference between them. So let's say you have a Jedi combat proficiency that is melee up close and it focuses on AoE damage, so damage to multiple enemies. They want it to be doing about the same amount of damage as a tech user who is also melee and does AoE damage. So say, I don't know, a smuggler advanced class or combat proficiency. They don't want you to pick one over the other, and they don't want them to be... Oh, I made it! I didn't want to have to do that 4th time. It's embarrassing. The datacron scenes look so good. This one is a mastery +2, and that's a really nice stat. It's definitely going to be helpful in the long run. Nice! Oh, we got a quick sentry from it. This is a galactic history entry which you get from the datacrons. This datacron holds unheard of power and knowledge collected by an ancient race. The Pius Dia Crusades is what this is about. You access its power and discover writings which are clearly only one small piece of a massive galactic history. The Republic has been established on principles of free speech and tolerance for all sentient beings. Unfortunately, these principles also allowed the growth of fringe groups. During the term of Supreme Chancellor Persilia, a fanatical, pro-human religious sect called itself Pius Dia emerged. Many dismissed Pius Dia as another cult, but the group's intentions were much more sinister. Through political maneuvering, the members conspired to have Chancellor Persilia impeached and their own man, Senator Contispex, put in his place. Through Supreme Chancellor Contispex, Pius Dia exploited tensions within the Hutt Empire after the Hutt Cataclysm. Eventually, Contispex sanctioned an invasion of Hutt space, beginning the Pius Dia Crusades. Over the next 1,000 years, Contispex's descendants, biological and ideological, would inherit his position, continuing to wage war against various alien factions until growing unrest brought Pius Dia's rule to an end. A new chancellor was elected, free of Pius Dia's influence, and the Pius Dia Supreme Temple was destroyed, but the tensions created between the core worlds and the Outer Rim persisted for centuries to come. That was a very interesting piece of lore. I had never heard of any of those people or that faction ever before. So I must, like I said, I usually don't stop to read the lore entries, and I only tend to know about the more popular lore. So we know that the Empire has pretty much always looked down on inferior races, pretty much since day one, with the Sith, with humans intermingling with the Sith priestesses. I think if you remember reading that one with me a while ago, and then anybody else was scum. And that has carried on for generations and generations, but I didn't really know where the racism in the Republic came from. I mean, it's obvious, it's easy to guess. I mean, people are bad sometimes. There doesn't have to be a bigger answer than that, but I'd never seen any type of explanation. So not only does that explain a lot of the tension between the Outer Rim worlds, a little more than just country bumpkin jealousy, it also explains a lot of the racism that you still sometimes see within the Republic. Like, where did it even come from to start with? Well, crazy religious sect. Alright, let's look where our next datacron is instead of blindly following my memory, which is not very good. Okay, I am back on SWTORspy.com. We got our first one. Number 2 is a presence. I don't even know if presence still technically exists. Ah, that's the one we just got. So let's go this one. Wait. I think this one is not working very well. I promise I didn't just disappear. Aw, they linked to the same page. Darn it, that's what my issue is here. Okay, scroll down to the next one. Alright, this one says there is one out in the jungle and I need to start... The moment you exit Dromund Kaas spaceport, you will be able to go up a path to the left. This one goes uphill. If you got the quest warning sign, you will go here anyways to reach the quest objective. So we're gonna, yeah, we did that quest. So let's go heading up that way. Here we go. I think we're heading the right way now. There's a datacron up here. I must have totally missed it when we were questing up here. So they have all that to keep in mind, and they also obviously want to keep in mind the way that the players enjoy the class. There is an ideal way to play every class. It's impossible not to have one, whether the developers or the players have found it. There is a #1 bestest way in the world to use combat on a class. It will be an ideal use of the abilities at the ideal times with flawless execution and flawless strategy. Like, so you do, oh, darn it, I attracted some beasts. So for example, if one ability procs another ability, then you obviously want to use one after the other, and combine that with the amount of force or ammo that takes, or heat if you're a bounty hunter, as well as how fast that regenerates and how fast other moves bring it back or take it away, and how much damage it does over time. There is an ideal combination out there. Okay, there is a datacron somewhere around here. Kind of see a little sneaky path over there. Oh, isn't that a sneaky path? This looks like a sneaky path, though. Ooh, cool. This one is just up the left from the spaceport. Ooh. Come on, adventure, Kimball. There's nobody to eat over here, though. Oh, wow. Where are we going here? Oh wow, this is such a nice area. Used to be like a great place for some quiet, romantic roleplay. You've got a view of the city, you've got flowers, you've got... oh, just pretty. Alright, what is this one? This one is presents. So presents apparently still exists. I wasn't sure. A while ago, a bunch of the statistics got changed and consolidated into one. For example, we got another codex entry. Hey. This is the birth of the Mandalorians. The culture of the gray-skinned Tong species has always been defined by conflict, even before their days battling among the battalions of Zell on Coruscant. For millennia, striking out from the world they called Mandalore, the Tong explored and conquered new worlds, seeking new opponents to test themselves against. Over time, their philosophy of battle grew and changed, and a new cadre of elite warriors emerged. Known as the Mandalorian Crusaders, these warriors were honed by years of battle and guided by the strict code of honor. Wild stories began to spread through the Outer Rim of soldiers who could disappear into forests, face terrifying beasts without a trace of fear, or even capture an entire planet in a day. These tales were the first time the name Mandalorian became widely known. Although the Tong themselves went into decline and eventually disappeared, they left behind followers trained as they were. Ever after, the Mandalorians were a people to be respected and feared. And there you go, that is another thing I did not know. I didn't realize that... oh, there's someone standing on a ledge over there. They must have really liked this area too. Hope I didn't interrupt their quiet contemplations over there. So, the Mandalorians, one of our favorite factions that aren't the Sith or the Jedi, came from a species named the Tong, who no longer exists. Or maybe they do. It kind of sounds like they don't anymore. Maybe there's a few remnants kicking around. But they left behind their legacy, and they left behind the name of their home planet. Hey, is anything gonna eat me? No, okay, let's go back and check the map. Okay, our next one is shockingly also in the jungle, but which part of the jungle? This datacron is located in the Dark Temple approach part of Dromund Kaas. To get to it, you'll need to go around and above it, and then jump down over some rocks to get to it. Around and above it? Can I do that? Can we go and around, above and around the Dark Temple? Oh yeah, we didn't really go that way before. Okay, so let's get to a speeder, I believe. So we need to get back to Cass City. Where even are we in the world? Okay. So 2 pieces of really good lore we learned today. Racism in the Republic and the Tong as part of the Mandalorians and where the name of Mandalore and Mandalorian come from. Back to classes. So, with all those millions of ideas in mind, they run, they use different types of formulas to try and figure out what the ideal rotation or damage for a class could be. If everything was perfectly lined up, if someone pressed the buttons in exactly the right order at exactly the right time on a kind of average boss, what would their numbers be? And they will find that some of the classes do better than others. So maybe one does 6 bajillion damage per second and one only does 5 bajillion. That other one is unbalanced, the one that's lower. Or you could say the one at 5
for departure.
is the baseline.
Enjoy your stay.
We didn't even go to that whole section of the map here. We might even have missed some quests along the way. See if we pick them up as we go. Or they can say the one that's 5 is the one that's correctly balanced, and the ones that are too high are the ones that need to come down. In the past, sometimes they have buffed the low ones to make them catch up to the high ones. In this case, in this specific update, what they are doing is they're bringing the ones that are too high down and some of the ones that are too low up. They've decided that 5.5 bajillion DPS is the amount that they're going for. So they're going to buff some classes and nerf others. And it's very sad when your class is nerfed, because you should technically understand that your class has the ability to do that perfect amount of damage, but you maybe don't necessarily do it yourself. So, for example, if my friend Bob plays a really lower end class, he may be able to do more damage than I do on my higher end class because I don't actually know how to play it very well. Or, of course, the devs can be wrong. Maybe they overestimate a way a class is used. Oh my gosh, I just went through the floor. Javiik, are you okay? Did you see that? Rewind if you didn't see that. Ah, this area is so cool looking. So often when a player sees that downgrade in DPS, a nerf downgrade, in the patch notes, they are like, my class just got weaker. They don't usually see the bigger picture of my class is now more in line with everybody else's. And that's more than fair enough idea. So the one way that the devs could make it really easy is just only buff the ones that are doing badly. Oh my gosh, where are we going? Don't let me hold the map in the car. You know, use your GPS and just ignore me. It's the smart thing to do. Oh, was there a quest? There was a quest we missed. Oh, nothing sent us into this area, so I never bothered. Hello, my friend? Captain?
Damn it, this would never have happened on my watch. Ah, my lord, it's good to see that the Sith haven't let things slide. Not like the rest of this circus of an empire. First, it's slave rebellions in the jungle, then this. We wouldn't have allowed these kinds of things 30 years ago.
What's the problem, officer?
I was sent to this construction site to investigate unusual behavior among the droids. I wasn't here long when one of the units attacked me. I barely escaped with my life, but worse than that, I found this transmitter on the droid.
What's so bad about finding a transmitter?
These are not Imperial-issued transmitters. They're being used to control the droids and receive data from them in return. I warned my superiors what would happen if they continued to be lax about this planet's security. Someone, an independent interest, a rogue Sith Lord, is using these droids to broadcast Kaas City's schematics to an off-planet location.
What do you want me to do?
We need to get those transmitters. If we can remove enough of them from the droids, it'll make the data they're sending unintelligible. The sooner we get those transmitters out, the better. This information can't end up in the hands of our enemies.
Alright. I think that's pretty funny that we had an actual quest that we just apparently just had no reason to go to. So what, like I was saying, what they could do is they could just take all the ones that are bad on the average ideal DPS for their class. Campbell says, these Sith build and build when they should be conquering. They're not Mandalorians, Campbell. Go join the tongue. I think I need to kill things. I assume that's usually the deal here. Let's kill things and see if it works.
Teufel atrous.
Ah, I see yellow things. So this is the correct thing to do for this quest. It is a kill things and pick them up quest. Ah, it's sad. So what they could be doing is instead buffing all the lower classes, but this does cause a creep of damage. So let's say a boss that you want to fight in an operation, the best kinds of things to fight, has 10 bajillion health. So you don't want to accidentally have your characters killing it in 2 hits. Bosses are supposed to have a certain difficulty level. Maybe it should take you about 3 minutes to kill them, or maybe it should take you about 6 minutes to kill them. And the developers have a kind of idea of what they want in mind. Let's go kill some more things. And then they die. And if they just keep buffing them whenever they're low, then that really creeps up. So instead of killing that boss in 3 minutes, all of a sudden, everyone can kill it in 20 seconds flat. And that's not good for the game. People don't like when things are too easy. They should have a kind of balance where story mode still has the tiniest bit of challenge. Hard mode should be pretty hard, or I guess veteran mode. And master mode should be hard. Oh my god. We've been doing the same boss for the last 3 months. That's my opinion, at least, in my experience. So that's the reason they try and bring all the classes to a specific level, rather than necessarily trying to make them 100% equal. Less people's feelings would be hurt if all they did was buff them up. But this way, they get to actually do the correct thing. The thing that works with the majority of the game. Not necessarily the player's feelings, but it makes the game as a whole work better and work correctly. You're supposed to kill this boss in about 3 to 7 minutes, not 30 seconds. And that's why class balances are difficult and why they're sad. And I've also noticed one of the other things that's been interesting. Players, especially PvPers especially, tend to have their own rankings of the different classes. So, for example, they will say, are we heading the right way? Oh, yeah, we killed enough stuff. That was just to kill things and turn it in quest. Alright. We could definitely be using that speeder right about now. Have to get one when we go to the fleet. Oh, you know what we're gonna do next episode? We're gonna run Hammer Station. So let's just have a super long episode today and go find everything here. And then we will go to do the flashpoint. Hello, Captain.
Back already? And you have the transmitters?
It was actually quite simple.
Well, what do you know? And here I was starting to think efficiency had gone out of style. I owe you thanks. If you'll give me a moment, I'll upload the data to High Command and we'll see what's what. This is worse than I ever would have imagined. Lord Grathan's behind this. He has to be.
Grathan!
A clever one, Lord Grathan. Poking at the Dark Council without ever causing them to raise their fist.
He's covered his tracks well. We won't be able to prove it, but Lord Grathan has been sending security codes and planetary readouts off-world. Everything an invading army would need. Major Shellister is already en route to the probable invasion site with every soldier he can find. They'll meet you just across the bridge. Hurry.
Oh, it's gonna be a super long episode. I just realized we have so much stuff to find. Should have found more along the way. Oh, sweet. This is like a 2-part quest. I think that's kind of the first one we've seen like that. Like, we've seen ones that had multiple steps, like you'd find one thing, then it would send you to the next. But this is, the quest name actually changed. It's called Unauthorized Transmission Part 2. Maybe this is to help people explore this area. Like I said, there's nothing that sent me over here. Right, so I was saying PvPers especially have classes kind of ranked on their own. Like, without the ideal statistical damage. They obviously don't have access to that. We have player-made ones, which are pretty darn good, but they're not official. And we don't have the same models as BioWare does. And kudos to the type of people who make those. You are amazing. Because they're the ones who help us figure out what kind of gear we should be using for the ideal damage. So let's say players say that Jedi Knights are the worst class to fight. They are overpowered. Every time I fight a Jedi Knight, I get my butt kicked. Even on my character that I know how to play really well, Jedi Knights are just overpowered. This is not the actual case. This is just an example. It changes from patch to patch. One day one will be great, the next day it'll be one of the worst ones. So the players think, yes, we're getting class changes, that darn pesky Jedi Knight will finally get nerfed and they will do less damage and be easier to hit. And then comes the class update and whoa, Jedi Knights actually didn't even get nerfed. Maybe they even got buffed. So in this round of changes, what they're actually trying to affect and change is very literally only the damage per second, only the amount of damage they do. They're not touching the special abilities you get from combat proficiencies. I should probably make sure I'm on the right path for my datacrons. Kimval, go get him. Let's see. Compare it to my map. Cathar! We are indeed on the right track after we kill these guys. And ball lightning. Oh, chain lightning. Ball lightning is a totally different business. They were only affecting the DPS this round. They did not make the class easier to kill. So maybe the problem with the Jedi Knight was actually that they had too many defensive abilities. They were kicking your ass because they weren't dying. Oh, sorry, bad word. They were maybe hard to kill because of their combat proficiencies, their abilities. Maybe they had too effective of armor. Maybe they had too good of... Oh, those are Imperials. We don't need to attack them. I've been playing too long on the Republic side. Okay, so... Oh, there's also a quest over here. I think this is vaguely where I saw... Ooh, there's a whole camp down there. Oh my gosh, how did we miss this huge area? You know what? I don't think we're playing Hammer Station. I think we're gonna continue this quest for a little more. We're gonna stay on Dromund Kaas a whole nother episode. This is what I mean. There's so much to the game if you're actually like doing everything, if you're not just rushing through the class story. This is a heroic mission. I'm guessing since we've never been to this area, I probably haven't done this.
Over the last 3 days, a series of transmissions left Dromund Kaas and were received by ships orbiting a nearby asteroid. These transmissions contained safe landing coordinates for the planet's surface and security codes to bypass the orbital defenses.
Are we at war? Have the Jedi finally landed?
Even the Jedi don't have the temerity to attack Dromund Kaas itself. Several hours ago, small shuttles built to avoid sensor detection began to land and deliver troops to the planet's surface. These troops are brutal alien mercenaries of the exiled Lord Tytonus. Students of Sith politics will remember she was the rebel who declared her own kingdom on Begarin.
Oh. I am not a student of Sith politics, but I would like to be. I like one of the responses is, I want my own kingdom. Javiik, I don't think you're dreaming that big yet.
I thought that Captain Eisen said Grafton was behind this.
It may be that Lord Grafton gave her the information, but it's not his army landing. Lord Tytonus has judged her timing perfectly. With so many of our forces off-planet, it is possible she could take Cathar City if she lands her entire mercenary army. We must stop her shuttles from landing and beat back her forces. I've thrown every resource I have down there already. Now it's up to you.
Wow, I'm really glad I came to this area. So we can always... Her name is Lord Titonus. If you ever want to check what somebody said somewhere, it is right here. Your chat bar normally starts in the general tab. Click other and there's all the chat. What? Didn't we just pick this up?
Major Shellister. Captain Eisen asked me to come.
What happened? What? I'm not sure what happened there, sorry. So like I said, when sometimes a class gets buffed or nerfed, specifically in this case when they were trying to affect only a certain, hey, we explored the entire map! There we go, we got one done out of the 4 possible exploration ones. Okay, we gotta go back south, that was where that lovely little datacron was. I saw something with scaffolds in the maps I was looking at. There are some secret little scaffolds. Down here, maybe? Go to the loop-de-loop. Map says it starts right here where there's a little nice little curve. And then look for... Oh, apparently you can see a datacron on a platform. If you look off the side here. Ah, there we go. And I guess this is the one. Ah, haha. Alright. Wonder if we can get down to it from the top. Because I imagine it's probably can't just hop on a rock and be there. Never that easy. How about up here? Jump, Javiik! Maybe not. I don't think this spot was ever meant to be jumped on. One last try. No, okay. Maybe there's a better way to get to it over here. Actually, I think that might be the correct way. Oh, we could try jumping on these boxes over here. Jumping on boxes is usually a worthwhile endeavor. And as usual, it is. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I can understand why... Oh, well, I didn't go to this area at all, but I don't know if I would have found that little hidey hole right there. Probably would have found the datacron. I like the ones that are like super out in the open. Like if you walked anywhere in this area, you would see that datacron eventually. It is just super sparkly on top of a rock. Ah, do we have to follow our deaths? Duh. I went to get for those of you who are more experienced players, I went to go get an Orchid egg. And to get one of them on Alderaan, you have to literally kill yourself. Like, you just jump down there and then you can't get back down without dying. I guess you could have quick travel. Apparently my go-to is to go kill myself. Oops. Alright, which one do we get? Mastery! Sweet, the second great schism. Oh yay, Jedi Order 1. The Jedi Order had already faced one great schism in its history against the fallen Xendor and his legions of Lato. Although Xendor had been gone for centuries, there were uneasy stirrings in the Order's ranks. A group of Jedi had learned to use the Force to shape living beings, twisting them into horrific monsters. Hey, this sounds oddly familiar. These dark Jedi were swiftly exiled, but they retaliated by raising an army of their monstrous creations and unleashing them against the rest of the Order. The Jedi fought back, finally driving the Dark Jedi to a last stand on the planet Carbos. Victory would not have been certain even then, but the Dark Jedi had begun to turn against one another. Without a united front, they were overwhelmed and scattered. Although the Jedi cheered their victory, it was later discovered that many of the Dark Jedi had fled Corvus, leaving no trail for anyone to follow. Wow, history! If anyone knows more about this, I don't know, not Sith spawn, Jedi spawn, I would love to hear about that. Okay, our quest is leading us over. Oh, there was a bunch of quests over here, weren't there? I can't decide where to go. Maybe it'll lead us there next. So in this specific case, they were focusing on the DPS of those classes, and like I said, especially PvPers, and I'm sure people who play multiple classes and operations have this feeling and knowledge too. There are classes that they have on their own lists. Oh, this is heroic. Hopefully I won't die. No, I'm totally fine. I was playing on one of my random classes. I was going around working on a video, and I accidentally wandered into a heroic area, and I was like level 66 or something like that. Something very high, but I didn't have very good gear. For all I know, I was probably not wearing any gear, just cosmetic gear. And she got her butt absolutely kicked in a heroic area. I just wandered in thinking, oh, la la la, it's not a problem. I'm high level and everything's too easy. But I literally almost died. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a bad life choice. Okay, so we got one of the thermal detonators that we needed. So as the developers release these class changes to try and make their damage per second lined up properly with what their expectations are, there are people playing who have their own lists of what they expect to be buffed and debuffed and everything like that, and when they don't line up, that is another place where there is strife and hurt feelings. And sometimes it's maybe because the developers make a mistake. Maybe they actually are buffing or nerfing a class that shouldn't have been touched. In other cases, it's just the character or the actual person, the player, who is wrong. Maybe they just didn't have enough knowledge about the situation, or it was kind of feels versus reals kind of thing. So Ken Val said, why do the Sith bury their dead, if only to dig them back up again? Ooh. Sith Inquisitor face? Did we... This is strange. This is a Sith Inquisitor phase, but we haven't been here. Maybe we get to go there later? We're definitely done with Dromund Kaas for now. Maybe there's some cool stuff later on in the story. And so that is why there is always a lot of drama related around class changes. Sometimes it's just incorrect expectations, players with incorrect knowledge. Sometimes it's the developers not understanding what the players want. Sometimes it's the developers having more knowledge than we have. One way or another, they do their best to try and make it work, but because a lot of them play the game as much as we do. Especially the lead producer. One of the things they started off his introduction with was that he had multiple characters with very high end game grind attributes, I guess you could say, for those of you who are level 60 or higher, 70 or higher. He has a 300 command rank character. It was when it was released. He had it fairly quickly. I think he probably has a whole bunch by now. But he really, really plays the game, like, as much as the most active players here. So that was very cool to see. So he obviously doesn't want to, like, buff or nerf classes just to make people mad. They've got a goal in mind. And the goal is always to make the game better. Sometimes they succeed and sometimes they don't, but their goal is always to make the game better, because the more fun it is, the more balanced it is, the better it is, the less broken it is, the more people want to play. And the more money they make. That's obviously the end game goal. But the more people that like the game, the more people are going to pay and play. Easy. And that is my end rant and bad explanation of class changes. What's going to be really interesting, I think, is that... whoa, where'd this robot come from? How rude. Go over there. Robot, you can have some crushing darkness over there. Ah, he stunned me. How rude. Ah, chain lightning takes so long when it's not procced. Makes me sad. Okay. Let's actually cast Crushing Darkness because I always don't wait till it's done. Hopefully we'll pick up a grenade and we can move on with our lives. There it is. Perfect. Okay. Oh, we get to destroy the shuttle. It's nice. Oh, it wants us to kill. It wants us to kill. We're at 9 out of 20 of things it wants us to kill. I think we'll just move on with the story, though. I don't think we're hurting for XP, and this is just a bonus mission. It shouldn't unlock any interesting story stuff. It does in Flashpoints, though. If you ever see bonus missions in Flashpoints, absolutely 100% do them, because sometimes they unlock like secret, awesome alchemical beasts under the floor, and yeah. Sometimes you get to fight secret, imprisoned Sith Lords. It's always something cool. I shouldn't say that. Like, half of them do something cool and half of them do nothing, but I never remember which are which, so I just always do them all. What else did I want to talk about today? That's about it for changes in the game. But I did want to maybe chat about what I wanted to do with my channel. So my channel has started as a way to make guides to get players started in different parts of the game. Like, how do you do crafting? How do you do roleplay? How do you gear up at level 70? That's Galactic Command. How does Dark versus Light system work? Just stuff like basic questions like, how does this work? Give me enough to get me started, and that's what all these guides were. I know there's a button somewhere. Here it is. I don't want to touch it. Oh. We're gonna explode! Ah! Just going for a screenshot opportunity. And over time, I'm really happy. I've hit most of the really important topics I wanted to cover. I've done some that I'm not super proud of, but were highly requested, and I'm glad I covered them, like PvP and GSF. Definitely not my best ones, but I'm glad to have done them for you guys. And I got to do some of my more fun ones, which were about crafting and showing off what's in the game. And those ones are a lot easier to make. I don't have to like spend a year writing a script and stuff like that and researching them. I just had to craft them and then record them and show them off. Oh, we need a speeder so bad, and we need a train. I have enjoyed all aboard the hype trains for the Ampara Stronghold, since it will be a moving train. Every time I see it, I know it's dumb, but I like it. But I've been wondering if maybe I should, if it's finally time to move into lore videos. But I'm having a really hard time deciding if it's something I want to do, because I don't want to do just like one lore video and then call it a day. I'd want to do like some type of series. Ah, they're killing me! I can use my self-heal! And I wouldn't want to do just kind of do them all over the place, I guess you could say. The one lore video, or I guess 2 lore videos that I always wanted to do is that at the beginning of the game, there is the Jedi Council that you meet as on the Jedi Consular as the Jedi Knight, and they exist even if you aren't one of those. You just don't see them too much. But by the time you are done Act 3 of your class story as a Jedi Consular or Jedi Knight, you've seen half of them have had to leave for some reason or the other. And by the time Knights of the Fallen Empire starts, like, it's practically empty. Like, they've been switched out for other people. Some of them are no longer part of the council for various reasons. I will try not to be major spoilers. Ah, I don't want to fight anything else. I'm so done with this heroic. And I've always wanted to do a video kind of covering like who's left, what happened to them, who is Get off of here. I don't have very good stealth detection. Oh, did I actually push that guy off? He went into stealth and I pushed him and then I never saw him again. And I always wanted to do something similar for the Dark Council. They aren't quite as scattered or changed as the Jedi Council is by the end of those stories, but there is quite a few differences. I mean, look, we just killed Scotia, kicked him off the council, and got Sash on, and we're still on chapter 1 of our story. I'm coming for the rest of you Dark Council members. And then, of course, the warrior story affects some of them. I don't remember exactly which, but I can only assume that he does. Is there an elevator here? I just gotta wait for the elevator. And this is an emote that is available free to play. It's called Slash Dance. Thank you, Javiik, for that interlude. And that is something, like, I have some of them written down that I know what happened to them, but there's a bunch others that I'm not even sure we know what happened to them. Maybe they're still a part of the council, maybe some of them are only mentioned in, like, side quests and stuff like that, and I'm very curious to see, and I would have to go research a bunch to figure it out. Oh, kill things! In the meantime, before I decide what I'm doing, I am working on some really high quality videos mainly for newer players, because I've covered a lot of the endgame stuff. I know you guys have requested a lot of how do I play my exact class and character, and how do I gear my exact class and character, but those are videos I pretty much will never do. Because even my main character, like I said, like I mentioned earlier when I was jumping, it was more of a joke then, that I am not the best player at this game. I am just good at explaining the basics of it, because I've played a lot of it, know it like the back of my hand. But when it comes to, like, how do I exactly gear my Jedi Sentinel tank? No, Jedi Sentinels can't even be tanks. That's about my extent of the knowledge of Jedi Sentinels. I can't answer that question for you. And there's not even guides out for every single combat proficiency out there. Like, there's guides definitely for the most popular ones, and there's guides for ones that people who are good at that kind of stuff have written, but sometimes there's just not a guide available for some of the less popular specialties, and or guides that are from like 2 patches ago or something like that. They're not up to date anymore. Heyo, level 24. It'd be cool if you got codex entries as you leveled up. You kind of get them for like almost everything else. Maybe they just ran out. See, can we sneaky these guys? I'm gonna go with a probably not. Javiik, you are not stealthy. So I was thinking maybe if I do lore videos, I'll start with some super basics for people who don't know anything about Star Wars, like what do you need to know before going into Star Wars The Old Republic, and a basic rundown of the Sith and the Jedi and the Empire and the Republic. And then after that, I don't know. I feel like I was wondering if maybe I should just cover the individual like cool characters in the game, like Darth Jadis or Darth Varys or Darth Mar. But then, I don't know, I kind of would rather cover longer stretches of things. Maybe I'll just do a giant super cool Sith video. Call it that. Super cool Jedi video, super cool Troopers video. Super cool people that don't fit officially into any of those categories. I love on my trooper I've got like a stealth scan ability. I know AoEs pretty much knock them out most of the time, but it's fun to catch them in stealth and just pop them out. Okay, 2 out of 3, now done. We don't need to stand in the fire on this one. My friends, let's go get that last shuttle and I think we'll call it a night. No! No fighting! Running! Just gonna be running. I think that will be my plan. Move very, very slowly and can I heal myself? Ooh, I think I can cast these while I'm moving. Whoa, what's in here? Oh, the answer is nothing interesting. No! Haha, I stun you and run. Oh, I'm gonna cry if I like get stuck back here. I don't even know if I'm going the right way. Is there like a datacron hidden back here? The answer is no, I was going the wrong way. Darn it! This is what happens when you don't play with the map. I like playing on my trooper, because my trooper has a lot of abilities that she can, my trooper tank, she can use on the run. She doesn't have to stop a lot of the time. What is this giant wall anyway? Why is this here? This is a really cool area though. Looks like a giant dam. I'm like super tempted just to quick travel out of here. I'm gonna get stuck, aren't I? Oh my gosh! Get out of here, Swtorista! Run while you can! So yeah, if you guys would be interested in lore videos in general, please let me know. I'm not gonna obviously work on videos that nobody cares about, but those are way down the road. I have like at least 4 or 5 videos planned before then. No! Yes! Sorry, Kim Val, you had to stay down there. Oh, apparently not. Oh. If we want to talk about Star Wars news that is not Star Wars The Old Republic, I just want to say how excited I am for the Star Wars Hotel. They are making a fully immersive hotel in Disneyland Orlando, the one that's on the East Coast, not where I live, unfortunately. I live near Disneyland, the one that's on the West Coast in California, not near the other one though. They are making a Star Wars hotel, and it is supposed to be like super not necessarily lore heavy, because it's going to be for kids too, but it will be very, oh, you guys are good guys, you're not gonna fight me, very, I guess immersive is the right word. Like all the staff will be in costumes, the rooms are, the drawings that I've seen of it, I don't know if it's actually complete enough that they could take a picture of it, but they look kind of like you're in a space shuttle and you can look out the window and see, like, kind of like when you look out the windows on the fleet. Oh, someone already set that one on fire. Perfect timing for me, I don't have to fight anybody. Oh, look at Javiik, he's such a pacifist. Sweet, okay, go. Wow, this is a really long running quest. Oh, we're gonna head back to that door that we actually saw was locked, not the secret Sith Inquisitor one. But for now, I think we are going to chill out here with the lightning overhead, datacron sparkling in the background, and call it a night. So, if you guys would like to join me for the next episode, we will be continuing to find those secret datacrons and finishing this area that we didn't even know existed. See you guys later. Bye!